Welcome to Buzzard's Corner of Love. Think outside the box. Where can you apply that in your life? Possibly rediscovering something new or rediscovering something new within yourself. Maybe volunteering at an organization or someplace that you've never volunteered before. Possibly stepping just somewhat out your comfort zone and going somewhere you've never been before, exploring something new. There's that and so much more that you can apply, think outside the box in your life. I am Heather Buzzard of Buzzard's Corner of Love, bringing people back to themselves where we uplift and inspire you to become who you truly came here to be. Angels, it is great to be back. I know we're on a Thursday only because I flew in on Tuesday and there was no way that I was going to do a show on Tuesday when I came in. Yet we're going to continue with our theme of creativity, as that is our theme of the month. And today our show is Imagination Isn't Just for Kids. So let's start out with what the definition of imagination is, and then we'll go from there. So, the definition of imagination is the ability to form new ideas, images, and concepts in your mind, often without the direct sensory input or real world experience, meaning that you can dream, go off into a daydream, and well, that isn't so much imagination, daydreaming, because that's drifting away. Imagination is where you're creating what it is that you'd like to experience. Remember when we were children and we used our imagination all the time? We lost that as we become adults. And it's really powerful as an adult to get back into that imaginative state to create your life, because it helps you believe beyond what it is that you're seeing and what it is that you're experiencing. It also helps you foster problem solving issues, emotional well being issues, things of that nature in your life by using your imagination, because thoughts and ideas that you weren't conscious of trying to use your literal mind comes into play because you let go and allow yourself to relax. Give yourself that opportunity. If you don't believe the words that I'm speaking, give yourself that opportunity to experience imagination yourself. Angels, as we move forward, that's the definition of imagination and how it benefits you. The benefits of imagination is it reduces your stress and anxiety. And we have a lot of stress and anxiety in this world today because of all of the negativity that is happening. And also the fact that people focus and put their energy on that negativity instead of shifting it into something positive, listening to positive music, going outside in nature, being outside, just walking, doing puzzles, crosswords, listening to positive music, doing anything else than bringing in that negative energy from the news and the world that doesn't serve us. And it brings us stress and anxiety, sickness, and we get unhappy and we feel sad and depressed. All of that. Where do you think all of this sickness came from? This isn't what spirit built our bodies to be. This isn't why we're here on this planet. This is what we here at Buzzard's Corner of Love believe. We're here to uplift, enjoy, and inspire, have fun, laugh, play like we're children, yet doing it in a responsible manner with the creative energy that we have at our disposal. Also, the benefits of using our imagination is it increases our resilience and think about that, angels. Can your resilience be increased in any area of your life? And it also enhances our empathy and understanding, and it improves our mental agility. When we're using our imagination, we're using the cells and all of those that we have within us, and we aren't just we aren't just lying those cells and whatnot dormant. We're actually using that, and in using that, it does help our mental capacity as we age and as we move into our elder years. It helps us retain who we are. So angels, I tell you, imagination is very powerful. So that's the benefits of imagination. and it can help us lead to a more satisfying life. Think about that, knowing that what we think and what we speak is what we create. When we tie imagination to that and we truly believe what it is that we're seeing or imagining, we can speak that and create that. You may ask, well, why is imagination so powerful? And I'll say this to you. It's obvious why imagination is powerful. This world, everything that we see and experience, was created from imagination and the word. If you look yourself in the mirror, you can create anything that you choose. And imagination is something that hasn't been thought of. It is just is, because you're picturing what can be, what may be, how you'd like to feel, what it is you'd like to experience, whether it's coming to, whether it's real in the world or whether it isn't. Let me just take a drink, Angels. Today we got our root beer here. Get your favorite beverage. So knowing that using imagination is powerful because it helps us with creation. It doesn't have to be real to have fun with it. And I'll give you an example of this. This past week, I was in Nashville, Tennessee, and I went to my family reunion on my birth mother's side, and it was an experience out of this world. I am so happy that I went because it helps me recreate my story using this creative energy in my life in a positive light of who I am. Yeah, to make a long story short, I met my niece, which was my sister's granddaughter, and I met her, and she automatically started calling me auntie, and we bonded. And I sat in the back seat of the car with her most of the time that we were driving through Nashville and Tennessee and et cetera, so on. And she would take my hands and she'd come on, let's play. She said, I'm going to paint your nails. She said, what color do you want? Pink, purple, green. Mind you, there's nothing there. Yet in her mind, she's having fun. So me being an adult, I said, what? Yet I did play along. I said, well, let's do pink. I said, pink is my favorite color. And Angel, she painted my pails pink, nails pink. She even had butterflies, sparkles, and stars that she would imaginary squirt onto my fingers and she would dry them. This is all imagination. And this is from a 4-year-old kid. Yet it reminded me of this show that I'm doing today. And it reminded me of why imagination is so powerful. We don't have to believe that it's there in order for it to happen, for us to experience it. And we've all did that when we were children. Yet somehow, as we became adults, we got away from that imagination because probably we were told it was for kids and we needed to grow up and get out of our heads, etc., so on. Yet I tell you, imagination is powerful because it helps you create your life. And when I was sitting in the back seat with her and we were playing, she played nurse and she said, your arm is broken. I said, my arm isn't broken. She said, oh, come on now, we're playing pretend. My logical mind is my arm isn't broken. But she's saying we're playing pretend. And she had fun wrapping up absolutely nothing. But yet in her world, it was fun. So it just reminded me of how we can use imagination as adults in our life and have fun. And I thought to myself when I was sitting in that car, I said, universe, you always have a way of showing me or having me experience what it is that I'm going to be teaching. Which is true, Angels. Imagination is powerful. And I've done that with myself. I sit outside and I imagine I have the imagination of my book tour, what that will be like and what that will feel like and how I'm looking and talking and walking and my speaking engagements and meeting my readers and all of that. And that's how it comes about, through imagination. That's why it is so powerful. So when I was in that back seat of the car with my niece and we were playing pretend, it felt, I had to get out of my mind, my logical mind. And I just, once I got out of my logical mind, I enjoyed myself. And I allowed myself to play with my 4-year-old niece. And I tell you, angels, getting out of our logical mind and allowing ourselves to play helps release that stress, helps release that anxiety. We laugh, we have fun. And maybe we need to be around children more to implement that in our life as adults. Because I tell you, me not ha- having had that experience up until that point, it was really very powerful in my life. It made a real impression. And it wasn't only that, I took her swimming. And I have a video up on our Facebook page if you'd like to look at it. I took her swimming, and in the pool, I'm imagining, we were playing and using our imagination, that we were riding on a boat, and she was just having so much fun. And it's really gave me the experience that imagination is powerful, because fun is what we are here to have, and it makes you feel good. So, where in your life can you use your power of imagination to help yourself feel good about who you are, about what you're experiencing in your life? Even though it may not look like it, if you're moving through something that doesn't feel so good, how can you use your imagination to change that feeling? Even though the situation may change, yet it will eventually. Once you change your feeling about it, it has to change. It will catch up with you. I'm a living testimony of that. So, in knowing that imagination is so powerful and having that experience over this trip that I went on, it was really a powerful, powerful experience, angels. And it wasn't just sitting in with my niece and playing with her. It was the whole experience of being with my family, and being able to use my imagination now to recreate the story of who I am as positive, and to implement that positive energy into my life as I've come full circle in my life. It's very, very powerful. Imagination isn't just for kids, it really isn't. And me sitting in the back seat of that car showed me that. Spirit said, okay, Heather, you're going to be speaking about imagination. I'm going to give you the experience of why it is so powerful. And it took me back. And even this drink right here, angels, root beer, when I decided that this would be the drink today, it took me in my mind, imagination, back to the time when I was a kid. And getting root beer from A&W was a treat when we were a kid in the summertime. So imagination is very, very powerful, because it helps you feel good. And that's why we're here, to feel good about who and whose we are in life. I want to read you something that Albert Einstein said. He said, imagination is more important than knowledge. And we as a society put our emphasis on education and knowledge. We don't put our emphasis on imagination. Yet Albert Einstein says imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Books, what people have said, internet, etc., so on. Yet imagination encircles the world. You can imagine anything that you choose. And I will tell you this, angels, I have used my imagination in my life, and I have experienced what I have imagined. Growing up, I used my imagination that I was going to find my birth mother. I experienced that. Growing up, I used my imagination that I was going to live in Los Angeles, California. I'm experiencing that. Growing up, I used my imagination that I would be a writer, a published author. Angels, I'm experiencing that. I've got my life memoir coming out toward the end of this year. When it's published, I definitely will show you. I used my imagination as a child, saying that I had the desire to use communication to help people, to use journalism, to write, to help people. And this is what I am doing. And as I've grown in my life and walked on this spiritual path, this spirituality, you can't do anything except give it back. So, where in your life can you use imagination? It isn't just for kids. It really isn't just for kids. And if you say, well, I can't use my imagination, I'm going to say, why not? Yeah, I'm going to give you 3 different types of imaginations, and you find where you fall in your life. The first is primary, secondary, and fancy. These are the 3 types of imagination: primary, secondary, and fancy. Primary imagination is the basic human capacity to perceive and experience the world. Primary imagination is the basic human capacity to perceive and experience the world. Okay? Secondary imagination is a creative process where the mind actively rewards and reshapes sensory experiences into new ideas and into new experiences like artistic creation, experiences in your life, etc., so on. And that's where I fall in. So that's secondary imagination. Fancy is in contrast, where it's a superficial use of imagination, relying more merely on your senses and ideas, and the lack of the genuine creativity as you rely on the ideas of others instead of the ideas within yourself. 3 types of imaginations. Where do you fall? Like I said, I fall in the secondary imagination. It was really interesting looking that up too, Angels, because I had no idea that there were 3 types of imaginations. Yet again, like Einstein said, imagination is more powerful than knowledge because it is limited. And imagination is unlimited. And also, imagination is of spirit. And spirit is unlimited. And anything is possible. We as people say that. With God, all things are possible. Anything is possible. Yet, do we really believe it? Do we really believe it? Because if we did, our lives, this world, what we speak would be totally different. Because with God, all things are possible. You do believe in yourself. You are worthy. I am worthy. I am believing in myself. I am knowing who I am. I am standing, allowing myself to be, do, and have what it is that I choose to be, do, and have in life. I am passionate. I am the light of the world. I am here to uplift, inspire, and encourage. I am living my purpose. I am being an example of spirit working in as and through me. I'm using my imagination to create my life. What about you? Simple as that, angels. We have made life so difficult through rules, regulations, society, trying to keep up with the Joneses, Hollywood, gossip, all of that, the internet, social media, politics, all of this. And really, life isn't that difficult. And if one was to really travel the world and get outside of the United States and visit other countries, one would experience the simplicity of life in an easier, more relaxed manner. I truly believe that. I do. So, knowing angels, that imagination is powerful in your life, in what ways can you use all of this information that we've given to you? Knowing that you have the creative energy because it's something that is God given that we are born with. Knowing that thought is creation, knowing that words create as well. How are you able to line all of that up in your life and create exactly what it is that you'd like to experience? Knowing that belief, trust, and faith also play a role. Because if you don't believe anything you're saying and you don't trust that anything you're saying is going to come into manifestation and you don't have the faith to believe it, well, then you might as well forget it. So, those three have to come into play. Yet, once you have that faith, trust, and belief solid, I guarantee you the rest is simple. And I won't make light of it because it was a journey for me to get to this space. Yet, I guarantee you, angels, if you aren't in that space yet, just keep moving forward. You will one day wake up and trust, have faith, and believe. It's a simple, subtle shift that happens within yourself. Yet, imagination, right here, right now, taking a deep breath. Taking another. And ask yourself, or use your imagination right now and asking within yourself silently what it is that you'd like to imagine. Imagine that. Picture it. Feel it. Hear the sounds. Smell the smells, whether you're outside, inside, in a restaurant, shopping mall, at home, wherever you may be, on a trip, in an airplane, on a cruise boat, whatever it is that you're imagining. Feel that. Believe in it. Imagine what it is that you desire to accomplish in your life. Feel yourself being that. Give yourself permission to believe. Give yourself permission to trust. Give yourself permission to have faith in yourself. And give yourself permission to use your imagination in your life in a grand, loving, happy, positive manner. The choice is yours. And so it is. It's done. Simple as that. Simple as that. Imagination Angels isn't just for kids. I experienced it literally on my trip last week to Nashville. And it was amazing to be in the back seat of that car with my niece, experiencing imagination and actually having fun with it, as it brought me back to what real imagination is. Whether it's real or not, it doesn't matter. It just is. Angels, next week, creativity and spirituality are deeply intertwined as we close out the month of creativity. We'll put pictures up on our YouTube page right here of our experience over the week that we had in Nashville. We will be putting pictures up on our website as well. We've got our new posting over there, Creative Energy. Check out our website over at buzzardscorner.com, BUZZARDSKORNER, buzzardscorner with a K.com. You can also check out our coaching packages. We offer group coaching as well as one-on-one coaching, angels. We here at Buzzard's Corner of Love know that we can support you, love you, and uplift, inspire, and encourage you to the spaces and places that you desire to be, especially at this time as we enter and move into the fifth dimension and allow this energy to really settle on this planet. You can find that over there at buzzardscorner.com, angels, right here at youtube.com. Join our channel, join our community. Angels, we've got a lot of information right here on YouTube, forgiveness videos, all kinds of different videos. So take a look on our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and share with others. And angels, all our information is at buzzardscorner.com, BUZZARDSKORNER, buzzardscorner with a K.com. And again, next week, creativity and spirituality deeply entwined as we close up the month of creative energy. Until then, angels, I am Heather Buzzard, a Buzzard's Corner of Love, bringing people back to themselves.